From the top of Bologisi to the beaches of Maryland, we cover our stars. This is Spoon 107.5 FM.
Pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever it is you're listening to us from across Liberia. We're live on Spoon 107.5 FM as well as on Fabric 101.1 FM. It's a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday afternoon here in Liberia with the weather forecast saying that it is forecast to be sunny and a gentle breeze with temperatures ranging as high as 32 degrees Celsius and the lowest is 21 degrees Celsius. So according to BBC weather, today promises to be a very sunny, a very beautiful day with from 3 p.m. this afternoon up to 6 p.m. this evening. Forecast there sunny with gentle breeze and clear skies throughout the course of the night. So wherever it is, again, those of you watching us all around the world, we love to say welcome to you. My name is Diamond Slanger. You're welcome to another fascinating edition of the Pulse right here on the Spoon Network. And we also do have other stations relaying us all across Liberia. To those of you listening to us there in Bone County, in Bumi, in Bapolu, in Maryland, in Grand Jida County, in Sino, in Lofa County, the newly crowned champions of the National County Sports Meet men category. Better still, you there in Grand Bassa County, the newly crowned female champions as well. We love to say welcome to the show. So this year is the Spoon Network's afternoon show. We have a lot on our plate to share with you today. But before we get into all of that, all you need to do is to start playing the radio game. Win 4,000 Liberian dollars for yourself off the cuff. Yeah. They play, oh, now you're complaining, oh, you can get 29 in the country, and you go to my uncle, he's a go to this, and you can get your money. Look, make your own money. It's as simple as that. The more you play, the better your chances of winning. The more you play, the more winners I can draw. So all you need to do is to dial *799 *3 hash, *799 *3 hash, and play with 100 Liberian dollars, or better still, 70 cents if you're using your USD wallet. Play and win. Don't blame anybody that, oh, Damon, you can't, Lorena gives 6 winners, you don't give you winner 2. No, the more you play, the more winners I can give. So what's on the menu for today? Aside giving you money on this Tuesday afternoon, we have a good program lined up for you. When we started the show, when we began the show, we told you that, look, it's not all about politics. We have too many other things happening in our country that we can spend time to discuss. We can spend time to have serious conversations about, and we can exchange knowledge and learn. Every day we learn. So I have a good news for you. I've been able to speak to a lawyer friend of mine, who is going to be providing us with some legal tidbits on the show. And we've decided to start off with the domestic relations law of Liberia. Yes. So our lawyer friend, who has volunteered his time, which we don't have money to pay for, will be educating us, because we don't know our rights in this country. We don't know when we're right and when we're wrong. What is an infringement? Whether or not even the law enforcement officer is encroaching on your rights. What is a criminal offense? What is a civil offense? And what can be both a criminal and a civil offense? How can you sue somebody criminally? How can the state take up a case against somebody criminally and you take civil actions against that person? What constitutes damage or damages and the rest? So we need to know these things, because when people are enlightened, they can better follow the law and get the best redress. So our lawyer friend, kudos to our lawyer friend who has chosen to be anonymous until he or she can appear on the show. We will be discussing the domestic relations law of Liberia that deals with family relationship. What is marriage? How can you get a divorce? What's the responsibilities, of a father and a mother, a child born out of wedlock? How can you legitimize your child and the rest? What are the duties of children to their parents? Yeah, you have a legal responsibility as a child to take care of your parents. It's in the law, black and white, and the rest. How can you divorce a partner who has gone to jail for a very long period of time, that has been sentenced, or you choose to be faithful to that person? When can you get a divorce? Somebody say, oh, I saw Musu's husband pass away. Who she married the next day? Is there a limitation to how long you can wait before you remarry after losing a spouse? After going through a divorce and the rest? We need to know these things, because every day when we go to the courts, we see cases of persistent non-support. Oh, the man not taking care of the child. Oh, the man not doing this. What's your responsibility as a mother as well? If the father is proven to be incapable of taking care of his or her child or children, where do you come in as a mother? What's the responsibilities and roles of parents? So these plus many more are enshrined in our domestic relations law of our country, and that is where we'll kick off from once our lawyer friend starts to appear on the show. And we want to call up on other professionals as well. Whether you are a healthcare professional, whether you are an insurance expert, whichever field you find yourself in, let's make this platform what it ought to be, to educate our people, not just on politics, and politics. There are too many other things that's happening in our country far beside politics that we can discuss and always have good conversations. But of course, we have to chip in political issues once in a while, because at the end of the day, they also spicy to discuss. All right, folks. So what's the lineup for today? A lot happening in the country. Where are we on this whole eviction of the speaker? Who would take the speaker office? I take the parking lot, and now I want the office. Oh yeah, you stole the speakership from me, steal the office too. Where are we now with all of this? When is Speaker Kun going to take siege of the office that is still occupied by embattled Speaker Jonathan Fonati Kofa? When is that going to happen? Well, Haji Masale, who covers the House of Representatives for the Spoon Network, will join us on the show and give us the latest surrounding what's going on since the embattled speaker responded and in a very defiant manner said, the same way you took the speakership, the same way I'm going to take the office. Why you bothering me for inviting me? Y'all know what to do. Well, since the Justice Minister had advised, according to the House's communication, that 5 days should have been given the embattled speaker, and if nothing is done, in the presence of law enforcement, civil society, actors, and the rest, and the media, his things should be thrown out like a tenant whose rent wasn't paid on time, and the landlord decided to evict him or her and throw their things outside. Are we going to go that far? Well, Haji Masale is going to give us the latest updates surrounding what unfolded in the House of Representatives as we progress on the show. We've been getting intel that there is a go slow action currently going on at the Nimba University there in Nimba County. Victor Cooper, who's one of our correspondents there in Nimba County, is going to give us the latest surrounding what's unfolding there in Nimba County. And there's also a tragic news coming from Nimba of a murder that has shaken an entire community. To get all of the details of those stories, we'll be joined by Victor Cooper on the show. You know, one of my favorite subjects that I always had A in. I do get a lot of A's though, but the one I really dear to my heart, like political science, like literature, like psychology, and the rest. But in literature, one thing stood out for me called irony. We have situational irony. And in this case that Melvin is going to be discussing with us, has got a big situational irony. Where the protector is now the alleged aggressor. You get the whole thing. The protector or the law enforcer, the interpreter of the law, the person who's supposed to uphold and make sure that the law is respected, is allegedly the abuser of the law. And it has got to do with a very interesting human trafficking case where the chief of the Trafficking in Persons Task Force has now been dragged to court for allegedly being involved in trafficking. Yeah, that kind of thing. The person who's supposedly supposed to be stopping trafficking in persons, where people are taken illegally from one location to the other, whether domestically or on the international scene, but people taken against their will from one location to the other and made to do terrible things. This protector is allegedly the villain. But Melvin Jackson is going to join us. He's our judicial correspondent to throw more light on that particular story as well. We'll also bring you some details of the drug bust there at the Roberts International Airport involving a Kenyan national who was found to be in custody or in possession of 388,000 United States dollars worth of heroin. 388,000 United States dollars worth of heroin. We'll talk about that as well. That drug bust happened at the Roberts International Airport, and it emphasizes the government's fight against the drug menace in our country. At 4 p.m., we'll be joined by Mr. Christian Weah. He's a Liberian businessman. He has written an open letter to President Joseph Yuma Boakai. We'll be discussing the economy from the standpoint of a Liberian businessman. We'll be discussing the challenges that are faced by Liberian businesses, not just Liberian businesses, but other people that are operating businesses, the entire business community in our country. What are their challenges? How can government intervene? What interventions so far have there been from government? And why the business climate is meant to be a conducive one to bring employment opportunities to our people. But before that, we'll be joined on the show by Bapolu boy Ambulah Mame. As you are aware, Mr. Mame, will be helping us to discuss some of the issues that are arising from the National Oil Company of Liberia, expensive taste or expensive waste. That is the question. And where are we now with these accusations and pieces of evidence, or alleged pieces of proof and evidence out there in the public? Is it a modal 2.0? Or what is happening? And in this case, is President Boakai listening as well? We have Ambulah Mame in the back. We are going to bring him on and we kickstart our show as good morning to you, Mame. And you look smart in your business suit. It's a pleasure having you on.
Thank you, Damo. It's good to be here too for a short time to get back to the hustle.
Okay. At least you give me a small time for your hustle. Let go it quick so you can, have to encroach on your hustle time. But what's the latest? First give us a background of all the slew of allegations that we see coming from Martin Colley and the rest, allegedly against the CEO of the National Oil Company that has grabbed the attention of Liberians home and abroad.
I mean, we've been looking at the pieces of evidence. We'll be looking at the allegations. We have made contact with some people to just understand what's happening. I think it's scary for me, it's scary. It requires investigation, not just because of the procurement of 2 vehicles. It could be a tip of an iceberg. It could be something more than that. First, we heard about just vehicles. I mean, when I left my last meeting, I was reading another article about a contract of over 500,000. So I mean, it sends the call for more investigation. It sends the call for deeper investigation. And then I read the CEO's response, her official response on her official Facebook page. Even if you did not.
Okay, so we lost Mame there for a minute. I'm sure he will rejoin us. He will reconnect with us as we discuss issues surrounding allegations against the CEO of the National Oil Company, Honorable Rosalind Suakoko Dennis, her responses as well on social media and everything else in between. Liberians are concerned. It is not a guilty verdict. It's allegations. But these allegations are worth being investigated. So now we rejoin Ambulah Mame. So Mame, you were in the middle of your thought before we lost you for a while.
Yeah, I was talking about the CEO's statement, the president CEO of NOCA statement. Let's push aside the allegation about corruption. Let's push aside the allegation about corruption. How can the president of NOCA make an argument to the Liberian public that she needs 2 cars worth over 70,000, 2 of them, to be able to run her office? That she and her security cannot ride the same car. If you get her post, just pull it up, let's read it.
Yeah, I do have that post.
Yeah, just
a
pull it
number of
up.
Facebook posts, but let me get that
Pull it
one.
up, let's read it so that I don't appear like we good. The CEO is aware that the position is of trust and carries sensitive information. Therefore, the CEO will not ride in one car with her driver, security, and staffers. The CEO has a utility vehicle for errand. The CEO will use it on weekends and holidays and use her official vehicle for official matters. You can take it down. A CEO of a poor company, a CEO of a poor company in a poor country. What money NOCA has? The company is struggling. Just because you're in the late process of doing bid, that is the same mistake the previous management did. Because you're in the bid round, raising small money through the sale of data, and now you feel you can ride one car. You will have one car to use for official duties. You have one to use on the holidays and weekends. So let's take the corruption off because the people will go and investigate corruption. Let's think about a rational manager. Let's think about a leader managing a company that is technically struggling for resources, is boasting that she cannot use one car, that she needs 2 cars, one to use on the weekends and on holidays, and one to use for official duty. That she and her drivers and her securities cannot use the same car. They have to ride in one while she ride in the other. It doesn't speak well for a manager. It doesn't speak well for anybody. And people can say, call on the president, call on the president. I mean, I wouldn't call on the president, but I would call on the board of NOCA. If they have courage, they should summon their manager. They should bring her to book. President Boaka, like I said before, he will pay roads, he will do electricity, he will do water, he will, increase civil servant salary. but he will not fight corruption. He will not. And the decision for him to not fight corruption is intentional.
When you say it's intentional, what do you mean by that? I'll take you on another round of questions, but since you talked about the president's quest to fight against corruption as not being intentional, I want you to elaborate on that a bit.
There are different economists, political economists, who have argued that countries like Liberia and poor countries should not focus on corruption, should not focus on the fight against corruption. They have written, and I can tell you, people have taken some of their literatures and what they consider to be evidence to President Boakai, and President Boakai is convinced. One of them is Peter Evans. You can read on him. He says certain type of corruption that they call it functional corruption. They dare to facilitate the development of the state. They get another economist, political economist, they call him Mustaq Khan. He argued about what he called elite bargaining. And this is the elite bargaining is what you see happening now with the case with the presidency of Nuka and similar case to, and again, I want to call political. So elite bargaining is basically these people are political elite. I need them to get support. So let me allow them to do some level of corruption so they too can be able to consolidate their base that I can maximize, I can get support from in the future. That is Mustaq Khan argument that you don't need to fight corruption. The core that one he's talking about, I say, so allow them to do some level of stealing. Then they get another group that call it strategic corruption. You got to tolerate it to be able to get loyalty on your side. One group argue about what they call democratic trade-off. You got to allow corruption so that you can be able to get political support. See the case with the guy to the, what do you call the place name? The Ministry of Commerce.
The former minister.
No, I mean the Inspector General.
Yeah. Doc Cooper with the academic fraud investigation that was carried out by the University of Liberia, and the report was, being read and analyzed, and yet and still people wonder why the president hasn't taken any sort of action against that. But I don't want us to sway away from.
I just using it to say that is an example of political bargaining because he's from Nimba a popular county, so you don't want to hurt him, so he don't hurt you. So the president is convinced about all those things, so he said, okay, let me just focus on maybe a Bay rule, a Bay hospital, I do this. But I am saying to President Boakai, that would be your greatest mistake that you will make as president of Liberia. Like Ellen Johnson said, he regretted that her worst mistake was to not fight corruption. If you follow that same path, do not put fear in people, because Rosalie is not afraid. That's the reason why she's bold enough to say she needs 2 cars, one to use on the weekend and one to use on official duty, because she's not afraid. And she's not afraid because the president is not putting fear, reasonable fear, in people he leads about corruption and waste of public resources.
So are you saying the reasonable fear that you're talking about is that the president has not taken what you deem as decisive action or continual decisive action against cases or allegations where investigations are carried out of corruption, whether financial or academic, like the Doc Cooper case, where it seems like cherry picking? So there are those who feel like, I can get away with it.
Exactly. See, for example, the case of Doc Cooper. You could tell the people of Nimba, hey, this is your son, but I brought him in government. He has created an embarrassment. Send me another son of Nimba to go in the position as Inspector General. But we cannot tolerate this in our government. We'll find something else for Doc. Then you set precedent. Everybody hear that, they get afraid. Go to LTA. You, the president yourself, say you suspected something happened. They investigated, or they gave you the report. You see it with your eye, you can't take action. So because you're not taking action, So Rosalie on the other side, all up on the other side, but then everything at business as usual. Let me buy my 2 cars. I use one on the weekend. I use one for official duty.
You've been in the employs of NOCAL at some point in time. Is there a culture there at NOCAL, of opulence spendings where president CEOs are entitled to 2 vehicles, or is 75,000 across the board to buy a vehicle and you can use the money anyhow you feel?
Brother, let me tell you a story. And this is not about NOCAL, it's about the government of Liberia. But because you asked specifically about NOCAL, I'll tell you. NOCAL was engaged into waste of public resources from the top to the bottom. This case, if you investigate it, it might not be corruption. I don't have the evidence though. I'm just saying based on what she said, that she bought 2 cars, she registered
looking at wasteful spending.
Exactly. She registered in the company name,
luxury, and all those things. On top of that, arrogance as well.
Exactly. So it could not be that she stole money. It could be that she wastes public resources for her own satisfaction. That is exactly have been the culture at NOCAL and other SOEs. But because you asked about NOCAL, yes, that has been the culture. They will put a big fancy program, say corporate social responsibility program. They're sponsoring the national team. At the time we're there, those are some of the things they will say. We're sponsoring the national team, 250,000. They will call Eugene Nangbe to Ministry of Youth and Sport. So we want to build a car wash, gain 1.2. That has been the culture. Every time we see money in SOEs, every time we see money in small government institutions that come in regularly, the next appetite is how do we spend it to just make ourselves feel happy. It's wrong. It's unacceptable. And we really thought that President Bouakai would have curtailed this. We don't expect him to be a perfect leader. We don't expect a government to run without all these mistakes and corruption and small things around. But we really expected a clear, definitive position that all of us who support him will say, my man, you can't try this thing, the paper will dismiss you. You can't do this one, the paper will pen like you. Let's be clear. See, the president, when you do this, he will dismiss you. But at this point, nobody knows.
For a government that campaigned on, cleaning up the system, rescuing the country, looking at austerity measures that money can be saved from, the recurring expenditures and all those things, and going into infrastructure development and the rest. When we look at the Ami Moda scenario and we look at the Restructuring Swakoko Dennis scenario, is there any similarity between the two in terms of, I remember the president talked about, you can be buying expensive cars and doing this and doing that. Is there any similarity between the two? And that by now we should see some sort of decisive action taken to make sure we get to the bottom of this?
Yes, a similarity. Perfect similarity.
And what is it?
The similarity is Ami Moda bought an expensive vehicle to use for himself and his comfort. And he cost over, I think, 70,000 or so, whatever the price would be. The NOCAL CEO spent similar amount of money to buy 2 cars, one for the weekend, one for official duty. It's the same waste of resources. Go to President Bouakai letter. He said, you can't be spending this amount of money. He's concerned about, in that letter, he was expressing his concern about the waste of public resources. This scenario is a waste of public resources.
How could that money have been used in the same NOCAL, but to boost productivity rather than having an errand vehicle and a holiday vehicle that you'll be allotting fuel for both of the vehicles and the rest? Ambulah Mame.
2 things you could do, brother. Why did people not thinking? Why they not thinking about what could happen? Look at the University of that Sony is about 30-something thousand US.
Yeah.
Rosalind would have used that money to buy a bus for the University of Liberia. And the president will be happy that at least NOCAL is trying to relieve him of some of the burden and responsibilities at UL. She could use that money to buy one bus for maybe the university in Maryland, Tottenham University. Or even a BWR, since she's from closer to Magibi, and BWR. I mean, those are things you should be thinking on as leader, not to back out the one who use one in the weekend, one for holiday, and one for official duty.
How does that sound to you? That defense, if you were to advise the president CEO responding with that kind of defense, that yes, I bought two vehicles, but one is for the holiday and for running my errands, and I cannot sit in the same vehicle with my security guards and my drivers, meaning she has got more than one driver. And the rest. How does that sound? Like having a car for the weekend in a country as ours on government's expenditure, and that same car just to run errands and bring your pizza and your lobster as well.
I will be doing the same thing President Bouaka did to Mudad. I mean, that's the tone he said, that you can't be spending, you can't be wasting resources. This is a waste of resources. Suppose you would have even used that, which would not be my case, which would not be my suggestion to her, but let's just push it further. Suppose you would have used that to buy a 25-seater bus for the staff at Nuka. Suppose you would have just used that to buy a bus for the staff at Nuka to commute. Then to buy one car for her securities and her driver and to use on weekend. Brother, the simple thing is, people come to government purposely to use government as a source to get rich temporarily, because right after 6 months, you see that they don't get money again. People come to government purposely to use government as a source to get money, temporary happiness. And if they are lucky, the other people like Maggie them invest it and get gold and diamond and keep it to your house and be selling it small and making money. But the overall objective is how you can use government to just make yourself temporarily comfortable. So you get 2 cars. Without government, are you able to have 2 cars with your drivers and security using one? No. So what make you feel that only in government you must have 2 cars with one for your security? Because government is a place to waste. The president was angry about waste and should be consistent about his anger on waste.
I've been at least 3 of the ceremonies where the president will induct into office officials that have been confirmed, induction ceremonies. And at those 3 or more ceremonies that I've been at, I've listened to President Bouaka repeat this over and over by saying public service is not a place to come and enrich yourself and to come and enjoy and dance and bathe in luxury. You come to serve. How does this contradict his statement, as the leader of these people?
When the president is making that statement, a good number of his officials can say the paper joking. A good number of them can say the paper joking. That is the reason why you see them, they keep repeating. They keep doing it again. But they get what she saw, they took action. But that somebody went to the Latin, I just level. Papi just did that thing for public pressure. But here, but that's still working. So she feel comfortable to do her own. So the president need to be decisive. The president need to be clear. On certain policy issues, the president need to be predictable. Now, all you can be predictable, but somebody need to be clear that if you did this, President Bouaka will suspend you. If you did this, President Bouaka will dismiss you. If you did this, President Bouaka will congratulate you. If you did this, President Bouaka will promote you. That culture need to be set. It need to be clear. Where I work, I know if I did this, I'll be dismissed. If I did this, I'll be suspended. If I did this, I'll be promoted. It's clear. Every day I go to work in the back of my mind. The president needs to set that tone. But if you do it one side and don't do it on the other side, if you make statements, look at asset declaration. President declared his asset and published it. He called on people to declare their asset. Up to now, you check. Now all government officials have declared their asset. Because lack of clarity from the president.
What's the next step in this entire saga? I know people around the president do listen. Better still, even the president do listen. But what's the next step? As you said, the president needs to be decisive in certain line of actions, especially when it comes to corruption, semblances of corruption, wasteful spending. We saw President Bouaka suspending people for allegations of corruption and audit report and the rest, though is now coming and looking as if it was a means of making way for his people to enter those positions. But what's the next step, Ambulah Mame, that should be taking place now in this entire Nuka vehicle, body for, errands and weekend and chilling. What should be the next step, Mame?
The next step should be the board. Unfortunately, I'm not sure. I think it has a new chairman. I don't know much about her and her stance on waste and abuse in public service. I mean, I know she's a respected lawyer, former Chief Justice, former Senator. I don't know her track record of, pushing for probity and ensuring the reduce of waste in public service. But I think the next step should be the board should intervene. The board should be able to save the corporation, and the board should be able to make a recommendation to the president. You cannot have a CEO of a post-struggling company that is wasteful in that manner and form and boastful in her wastefulness. You cannot have a CEO of a post-struggling company like Noka that is boastful in wastefulness of public resources, that she got 2 cars, one for weekend, one for holiday, and she can use the other one for official today. It's wrong. If you go deep into the Noka story, into the whole setup, that entity in earnest, that entity doesn't need more than 5 employees. Damon, Noka doesn't need more than 5 employees. Go to the law that established Noka, establish what their core function and responsibilities are now. That Liberia have not discovered oil and Liberia is not drilling oil. See the core function and responsibility of Noka. They do not need more than 5 staff. The primary work of Noka under the new law is when government signs a contract with an oil company, in every contract government signs, government has 10% share in that contract. That Noka responsibility to be monitoring that share and managing it. The second responsibility, because they amended the law, they created a condition for them to sell data. So that when oil company want to come to Liberia to do some transaction and know whether we get oil or not, the data are there, Noka sells the data to them. Who doing that selling for Noka? Who doing that marketing for Noka? Because we don't have the capacity. It's a company that
I heard it's a company in the US.
TGS NOPEC. Because we do not have the technical capabilities to do it. So we contract a company to do it for us. So the company is doing it for us, and the money they generate is in our share. Do you need 4 vice presidents to do that? Do you need over 20 staff to do that? You need a maximum of 5 persons sitting in one office. Every month, they just check with the TGS NOPEC how much you sold. Until you can get to the point where we move into full operations. When we may be in the process of drilling oil and producing oil, then you have technical people and extra. You need 5 persons, 1 person on technical, 1 person on finance, 1 person on investment, and maybe the CEO. That's all you need to look at. Hire working people, monitor TGS, monitor data. If you get a new concessions, the person there to just see how government share, because even the government share, nothing is coming from all of it until you produce oil for the next 10 years. So you're not just following the company looking at our expenditure to make sure they're not overspending so that our profit do not decrease in the future. That's all you need. But because of political considerations, let me learn, because of political considerations, people want to get a job, who understand you can be too tough. So the president said, okay, let me give people a job. Then they get you a job, now you go there, you see you need 2 cars, 1 for weekend, 1 for official duty. Let the board get involved. You do not need a CEO for a post-struggling company that doesn't need more than 10 staff to be wasteful and boastful in her wastefulness.
My last question to you, Mame, we'll discuss the issue of that contract another day because we're still getting information. We need to analyze the information surrounding that contract, a lot of technicalities, a lot of what ifs, there. But we want to stick on this. That response from the CEO, from a top-ranking government official, did it hurt or cause, or it helped to calm things there?
I think it hurt her. And it's not just about the job. It hurt her as a person. It's not just about the job. I mean, they can take job from you. You can get a job today, you leave. But how do the public see you? People see her now as a wasteful person. Under a normal condition, no other company can hire you as a CEO easily because they know you're wasteful. You don't need 2 cars for a struggling company. So it hurt her as an individual, as a person, as a professional. It hurt her on the job. And under normal condition, the board should be taking action against her. And the president should be listening to the board if they ever did. Councillor Gloria Scott, they're wasting money on you. You're the chairperson of the board. Is that the mindset you people bring back to government? So if the CEO can have 2 cars, then maybe the board chairman will be having 3 cars.
All right, Mame. Thank you so much for affording us your time. We appreciate you. We'll call on you when necessary. NOCA is your old stomping ground. And so you've got in-depth knowledge concerning that. And we brought you on the show to at least weigh in. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So there you have it from Ambulah Mame. They are giving us his analysis on this issue of allegations of wasteful spendings there at the National Oil Company of Liberia, NOCA, where the CEO, the president CEO, former Representative Rosalind Swakoko Dennis, did justify whether the debate is whether she bought 2 cars, whether the 2 cars are currently being used at NOCA or one has been, transitioned into her personal business. That is accusations and, investigations that we can delve into. But the issue of admitting to have bought 2 cars for your one, because 75,000 was available and it's at your discretion in a struggling country whether or not to use up the 75,000 to please yourself or to use portion of the 75,000 and say, look, we're in a country that I need to evoke austerity measures, so I use 35 or 45,000 to get myself a decent vehicle, which is okay, and I've used the others for social corporate responsibility or for buying a bus for my employees or for doing something else. But to say you use the money to buy an auxiliary or a utility vehicle that will be in use during the holidays and to run your errands and on weekends, and you and your security guards and your drivers cannot ride the same vehicle for security reasons, so you need 2 vehicles. It raises the question, what much more has been done there at the National Oil Company of Liberia? All right, so we'll move to another story, another very intriguing story. This is the pause here on the Spoon Network. We'll be playing host to Mr. Christian Weah. He's our guest on the show at 4. He will be discussing the climate, the business climate here in Liberia, with emphasis on Liberian businesses. How are they faring in this country? All right. So all you need to do to win 4,000 Liberian dollars for yourself is keep playing the radio game. It's simple. It's easy. Dial *799 *3 hash. *799 *3 hash. Play with 100 Liberian dollars and win 4,000 Liberian dollars, or better still, 70 United States cents. That money you win for yourself, and nobody will tell you say why you use the money to buy 1 car and use the other money to buy 1 escort vehicle. They want your own money. And 100 Liberian dollars gives you 4,000 Liberian dollars. Just dial *799 *3 hash and play. Play and win, play and win, play and win. Let's now connect with Melvin Jackson. He is our judicial correspondent. A very interesting story there from the court concerning one-time chief in the task force there on trafficking of persons has been forwarded to court for allegedly being engaged in trafficking himself. Can you imagine that? You're in a position of trust to protect people against trafficking, the task force against trafficking, and he in turn has been forwarded to court for allegedly being involved in the exact trafficking act as well. Good afternoon to you, Melvin. How are you?
I'm okay, Damo, and good afternoon to our many listeners and followers.
So you sent in a story where the director for operations at the Anti-Trafficking in Persons Task Force, one Henry McGill, has been investigated, charged, and forwarded to court for allegations of trafficking in persons.
Sure, Damo, sure. So as we speak, he is still here at the Mobile City Port. He was being forwarded this morning by the court liaison officer from the Liberia National Police. So according to what we reported, Mr. McGill, on his verified social media account and also from the sources at the LMP, he served as the director for operation at the anti-trafficking division, and his station is at the Ministry of Labor, his station. So he's also the former administrative assistant or officer for the public defense office here at the Judicial. So he wants to serve in that capacity. So according to the charge sheet and investigation conducted by the police, Dama, this guy carried on this act sometime 2022 when he allegedly trafficked these victims to Dubai, Oman. And he took the sum of 700 USD each from all of the the defendants, or let's say the victims. So when he took that money, he used it to prepare their visa and other stuff, and that was how they went. But when they went, these victims met some serious inhumane treatment from their traffickers that were in close contact with defendant McGill. So on that basis, after he committed the act in 2022, according to the report and what we have been gathering it, he was being signed for and released. So since upon his release, he's been around the video of the country and outside the country. But then recent the entire matter took another turn, and that was how he was being investigated and brought again to court. So these are the victims. You got one Dorrit Sietama. You also have one Breto Lulu, and you got one Francis and Johnson.
These victims, Melvin, are they back in country, having gone to that unfaithful and unfruitful journey there in Oman, where they met a lot of more treatment? Are they back in country? And what has defendant McGill said for himself now that he's before the Monrovia City Court on allegations of trafficking in persons and theft of property as well?
So the defendants, or the victims, according to what I've gathered, they are back in country. That was one thing that actually trickled the entire case, to reach this, far again. And when I went at the court, making my way to, have some words with him, he, decided not to, speak to the press. And according to him, he will do that either at a later date, or his lawyer, or when he comes to court, he will, do the wife ever talking. So he refused, to talk to us. But from what I gathered from some sources at the LMP, the victims are back in country, and that was one thing that really motivated, or that reawakening, the entire matter, that he is now being arrested and currently before court.
There is a portion of the story where it is reported that he allegedly, after his first passport was seized by the court, he allegedly obtained a second passport. If so, is that second passport in his name, and how did he get by a second Liberian passport?
So that which the police did not mention in the investigative report, for which Damo, we would like to put that further with it. But like you just read, the police did mention that he acquired a new passport with PP 0215779 number. So this passport is expected to expire 2027. Can you imagine? So if they have given us that full details, then we'll tell the public. But as it stands, there is no full detail as to why did he acquire new Liberian passport, or is it that the first one that got expired was the one he was first arrested on, and it was seized for him. According to what they say here, the first one was seized for him. So say it was seized. This is why he decided to acquire a new one that will last up to 2027 of September 2027.
Now, one last question for you, Melvin. When he was signed for and released the first time, it was deemed that he wasn't at flight risk. But now, going to get a second passport after the first one was seized, that tells you that either he harbored a plan of escaping the bailiwicks of Liberia, or now he's deemed at flight risk. And as our judicial correspondent, can the court use its discretion and remand him on grounds that he's at flight risk?
Yeah, so that will not be done today, Tamo, because he was just being brought to the court today. So he will be, it can be brought to the court for some preliminary investigations. And with that investigations, there were now the prosecutions will request for that to remind him that he's a flight risk, because this happened before and he purchased and got another passport. So on that ground, he needs to be issued some as a Republican that will prevent him from leaving the middle of the country. Because if his first passport was seized and he did not make any effort to get it back, but rather getting a new one with another number, because I don't know the passport process, but I think if you want to renew a passport, you should either get the same number or something.
You have to, when you go to renew a passport, you have to present your old passport if you've been issued. That is why it's called a renewal. And there is an officer there who will cross and write in all of the pages of your old passport. They will give it back to you, but they will write in all of the pages, rendering it invalid, though it has expired, but rendering it invalid that you cannot use it for anything else. But it questions our biometric system as a country as well. That if you were issued a passport that hasn't expired and you go for a new one, there is a process. If your passport you claim is missing, you write a letter to the police. The police will issue you a clearance. You go to the Central Bank of Liberia. You pay $400 or $300 like United States dollars before you be issued another clearance to go back to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and get a new passport. That is the process if you misplace your Liberian passport. But if you already do have a passport, your biometric information should be in the system. Is that another investigation there as to how he got a new passport?
Which, when the matter commence anytime soon, the prosecution going to request for that, because like I said, the police charge sheet, it is not detailed, it's just a one flying page, most especially claims of a nature that has so many questions surrounding it. I only saw one single flying sheet from the police investigation. So I don't know, they are still building that case on the first one. But if it was being built on, they should give them more details as to how and why he was released and where the case ended before this new arrest was being made and investigation conducted. But now it is not a case as we speak. So only a single flying issue we saw. So I think if they do come to court, there were some of these different evidence will be adduced in court to know where or why he was released, or who was he released to, and why did he issue or got another passport. And because between you and I, there are so many questions lingering around this matter, and I got so many the implications as to how the people get certain things and why, because the issue of trafficking, like I know it's not something easy.
It takes an entire syndicate to carry on trafficking in persons. Just give us in a minute updates surrounding the capital arson case that is currently there at the Temple of Justice and the case involving former Finance Minister Samuel D. Melvin. In a minute, just give us the latest updates. Where are we now on those two cases?
Yeah, so as we reported last week, the prosecution rested with the production of the witnesses, claim onto herself to bring forth witnesses that will testify in her favor. So in that matter, they also brought in the third witness who played two audio recordings from the phone of co-defendant Thomas Etrick. And those recording, like we reported, validated what the police had in her charge sheet, and not that they are guilty. So we need to make that very explicit to our people, not they are guilty, but validated what the police said in her charge sheet, that there were other recording phone in as well as a different form, and these other recording are these different conversations that talks about purchasing of gasoline, the petrol bomb, the beating of a police officer, and his hand was taken and given to former EPS officers. So the other recording that was played in open pool on a Bluetooth gave us that sense of thinking or believing that what the police said or charged. Because this is one thing that is very telling, Damon. Most time people wonder why is the prosecution lost cases, because what the prosecution or the police will insert in or charge sheet is what the prosecution will base on to prosecute whoever be a defendant. Now, if you got something in your charge sheet that does not match to what you will be deal with in court, it gives the prosecutor a setback. Now that
all right, we lost Melvin there. We'll try to reconnect as he was in the process of giving us updates surrounding the capital arson case. But this case involving the former director for operations there at the Trafficking in-person task force, the fact that he's been charged with trafficking in persons and theft of property raises a lot of questions as to how people in position of trust use these positions to enrich themselves or to infringe on the rights of others. It raises a lot of questions as to how our intergovernment agencies coordinate and the need for having a set database. Why would you have a passport and go back to get another passport and the system cannot detect that you have a valid passport? It questions our biometric data collecting system and how we store our data as well. Or are there accomplices in that system who facilitated the process of Mr. McGill to get another Liberian passport even after the first passport was seized, to go and get another passport? So who are those? How did he get the passport? And the process of getting a passport, if a passport is missing, is a very long one. It's not something you can just walk to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs today and say, oh, my passport lost, so I can't get a new one. No, you have to write a communication how your passport got missing. You have to take it to the police. You have to go to the Central Bank of Liberia. You have to pay $400. Remember, the passport is $40. You pay $400 United States dollars to the government revenue. Bring the receipt. Go back, get a clearance. Go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs before you can be given a clearance and issued another valid passport. So how these systems are manipulated and how we can take our citizens from here and take them to other countries where they are abused is also a testament to how desperate our people are for better lives as compared to opportunities here in Liberia. All right, so let me call the first winner. I have a first winner already for the radio game. You remember, you can also win like this person. All you need to do is to dial *799 *3#. That's all you need to do. Play with 100 Liberian dollars or 70 United States cents and win 4,000. So this person has won 4,000 Liberian dollars. I'm calling him right now, and after that we'll move to speak with Haji Masale, who's our correspondent there at the House of Representatives, to know where we are in this whole came in the office. I will then give you the office saga involving Kun and Kofa. So let's call this person now and hear from them as they've won 4,000 Liberian dollars on the radio game. This is the Pulse on the Spoon Network. We'll also be playing host to Mr. Christian Weah, a Liberian businessman. We'll be talking about challenges faced in today's setting, how Liberian businesses are measuring up, what's the challenges, and what can be done to mitigate these challenges as well. But let's see if we can call this winner here. This person that has won 4,000 Liberian dollars. Answer your phone here, not because the money early on your phone, so you won't answer us. Answer your call so we can move to the next person. All right, so this person is not answering. We'll have to move on and we'll call them back. But this person has won 4,000 Liberian dollars. The more you play, the better your chances of winning. The more you play, the more winners I can draw. The code is simple: *799 *3#. Somebody says, oh, that one you like rushing with the number to your time. I'll take my time. *799 *3#. 100 Liberian dollars gives you 4,000 Liberian dollars. 70 United States cents gives you 4,000 Liberian dollars. The more you play, my people, the more your chances of winning, the more winners I can draw. So let me call this person again for the second time. If I do not get them, we'll connect with Haji Masale to know where we are on this whole issue of this speaker office. All right, so we're trying to get this person that has won and they're not answering. We want to confirm. We do know that their money is in their account. Okay, so this person has not answered. All right, so if you're listening to the radio, which I know you are, if you see an orange number that is calling you that ends with 19, my dear, our radio game business are calling you, and because you won 4,000, we want everybody to know that you've won. We want you to confirm that the money is in your account so that we can move forward. All right, so let's now bring on Haji Masale. Haji is our House of Representatives correspondent to give us the latest in what unfolded there at the House of Representatives today. Where are we since the embattled speaker wrote his communication? Good afternoon to you, Haji. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay, Damo.
All right. How was session today? What unfolded? What notable things happened in session today?
Yeah, thank you for affording me the opportunity to get on the bus, the heartbeat of the nation. Actually, there were several, items on the agenda for discussion, for notably, like you rightly put it, the letter that circulated on social media during the weekend, purported to be that of, Honorable Funati Kufa, suffered on the floor, and it was discussed relatively with, every member, almost every member participating. And the return to the main chamber was also an issue, discussed. So the plenary has, mandated the committee on rules, order, and administration to do all the necessary, formality for them to return to the main chamber the next Tuesday next month.
All right.
The second Tuesday next month.
So the second Tuesday in March is the date set for them to return to the main chamber of the House of Representatives and leave behind the Monrovia City Hall where they're currently having session. But let's go to the issue of the letter from embattled Speaker J. Fonati Kofa Haji. Was that letter authenticated today on the floor as it came from the embattled speaker? And if so, where are we now in all of this?
So yes, the letter is confirmed that it's from embattled speaker Funati Kofa, but in that letter he did not refer to himself as a speaker, rather as councillor at law, and the letter here carried representative of Grand Creek County. So the items contained in the letter. Some of the lawmakers have problem with the structure of the letter, where Honorable Funati Kofa said he can no longer accept a letter from plenary, and just how the speakership was hijacked with influence from the executive. That's how they should go about getting the office of the speaker. Some of the lawmakers said the office of the speaker does not belong to an individual. It's for the speaker. So in Ambush, he is no longer the speaker of the house. Whosoever occupying that position should now take it over the office. But the plenary decided that the matter be tabled by leadership. But some of what was discussed is that some of the input during the discussion is that the Committee on Rules, Order and Administration should go ahead in a full clear of the public and open the office with the belongings of of Natikoba be displayed and kept for him whenever he needs them, and he requests for his belongings and the belongings detained over.
So I saw of the House of Representative members saying that the embattled speaker personal effects should be thrown out like a tenant who hasn't paid his rent.
So these are some of the discussions. These are because the manner in which the letter surfaced and saying that he should not be waiting any further and that he cannot go back and forth with these members of the House of Representatives. They feel that it was disrespectful to them, so they should go about throwing things like in the simple terms, and give way to the new speaker to occupy the office.
Now, there are those who are still calling for a reconciliatory approach to this entire thing of occupying this office. What other views were entertained, and how was this matter settled today?
So, some of the minority members, that people who support the ideology of Natikoba, said that they should seek letter from the court, like an eviction order from the court to do this. And some lawmakers say, no, we cannot go back to court again because this man has already told us that he cannot go back and forth with us. So maybe going to court and the court will let him, and he has already said he cannot go back and forth. So it's just that we'll be wasting time in our opinion. So they should go about, throwing the things out and getting access to the office. But leadership has taken seats of that.
So the leadership is now going to debate what next step and report to plenary.
Yeah, certainly leadership will come out to say as fair, because the speaker sees the motion, and in that step, seizing the motion, meaning you can release the motion because there was a motion on the floor for that to happen. The office be open in the clear of the public. That was the motion. So seizing the motion, the speaker can release it anytime soon, and it take effect or make adjustment to the motion, or send the motion back on the floor for somebody to refile the particular motion with some amendment to it.
All right, Haji, we're looking to see how that will be resolved, whether or not the HOR will resolve to flinging out in public the belongings of embattled Speaker Jonathan Fanatikofa for Kun to take that office as he has taken the parking space, or they'll come up to an amicable solution and give Kun the office as well. What other thing happened according to, was Yeka Koluba in session today?
Certainly, Honorable Koluba wasn't in session. We talk about reconciliation. Representative Eli Atorre was named as chair of the Peace and Reconciliation of the House of Representatives. I'm not quite sure as to whether she accepts.
They get Peace and Reconciliation Committee now.
Yeah,
it will
peace
end in
and
retreat though.
reconciliation.
It will end in some retreat that when we hear the figure beyond that retreat, now everybody will yell.
So like some members have been declining. Some members from the minority have been declining. They have their membership on committee. So like Sumo Moba, when he was announced on one of the committees, he declined, not openly, but he stood from this thing. He said, "I decline. I'm not coming to that committee." So, but we have not heard from Representative Atorre as to whether she accepts the nomination or the appointment, by Speaker Richard Nangwe-Kun to serve as chair of the Peace and Reconciliation Committee.
The Peace and Reconciliation. So it's PARC, P-A-R-C.
Yeah.
All right. So if all things remain constant, we do expect the House of Representatives to start having session in the main chamber the second Tuesday of March.
Yeah, so it may even be before the second Tuesday of March, because some of the when that motion was proffered and it was accepted, some lawmakers said no, that time is too far, so they have to say within that period of time.
So it could be before the 11th, but it shouldn't be extended beyond the 11th.
Right, but all has to do with the rules and order, making effort to access a place, put all the necessary, situation under control there regarding the opening of the main chamber. Then the lawmakers can go back to the main chambers.
Okay, Haji Masale. Any other thing notable worth reporting from the session today?
I think the Minister of Health was summoned, and she was quizzed on many issues. Yeah, so again, the Committee on Health has been asked to, further interrogate the Minister of Health, because people were talking about the level of maternity, the level of maternity, I don't know how you call it. So, but she has said clearly that Liberia has a very good rate of maternity rate, in the country. In terms of death during childbirth, let's put it simple. Yeah, yeah. So she said Liberia has a very good rate, but some lawmakers were arguing that there's a huge, number in terms of, women dying during childbirth. But she said that Liberia has, I think, 1.2%, other than Sierra Leone, I got 2.some%, Nigeria almost 9%, Africa 7 or so, just that, but Liberia is improving. And with all of each issue in the health sector, was discussed, but the Committee on Health have been asked to further investigate.
Okay, so the term that we were all looking for is neonatal mortality.
Mortality.
Yeah,
That's the right one. Neonatality.
All right, man. Thank you, Haji Masale. We appreciate you so much.
Thanks.
All right, so Haji Masale reports for us there from the House of Representatives, giving us the latest there as to what they will do. Will they eject the things of embattled Speaker J. Fonanti Kofa from the office and allow Richard Nangbe Kun to take siege of that office? We just read you the communication that Haji referenced that was debated upon today in the House of Representatives in their session there at the Monrovia City Hall. So this is the communication. For those of you watching this on the screen, I bet you've read it, and we'll read it for those listening to us all across the country. So it reads with reference jfk.rep.hor.rl.001.2025, dated January 31, 2025, addressed to Madam Madred Seon, Chief Clerk, House of Representatives, Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia. Dear Madam Chief Clerk, I am in possession of a letter transmitted to me via the WhatsApp account of Honorable James Kule. The letter, supposedly written by you, proposed to inform me as of a decision by the plenary of the House of Representatives regarding the status of the office I am currently occupying. My response is as follows. 1. My understanding is that plenary of the majority bloc voted on Thursday, January 30th, 2025, to defer its committee report regarding this matter on Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. If this is the case, then your letter purporting to obtain instructions from the plenary is an unlawful reception of the function and authority of the people's elected representatives. 2. Please inform those who instructed you to write such a letter that they should obtain the office in the same manner as they obtained the speakership, that is, illegally and with the force of the executive. I believe, according to the so-called committee report, the Minister of Justice, Councillor Oswald Twe, whose interpretation of events got us to this point, has already outlined a pathway to complete the illegal act, I will not respond to any, that is, I will not respond to anyone further on this issue. Sincerely yours, J. Fonati Kofa, Counselor at Law. So based on this communication, some members have said, as per the letter we got from the Justice Ministry that was outlined, that the Justice Minister had advised that if the embattled speaker is given 5 days and he doesn't respond, in the presence of the media, civil society actors, and the rest, the House of Representatives can go to the office, open the office on live TV in front of everybody, and then drag the things of the embattled speaker out. Say, taking the things out, one chair, one laptop, really down, one laptop, one big mahogany office desk, yeah, pull it outside. One rug, holy, 2 visitor chairs, holy outside, this and that, and then they will clear the office. But we're waiting to see how this is going to pan out, and as well as other issues unfolding in Liberia. Let's see if we can call again the first winner, and as we move to drawing a second winner, remember, the more you play, the better your chances of winning. You need to play. I need 10 more persons to play so that we can move to drawing a second winner. Remember, the more you play, the better your chances of winning. So to this person, you've won 4,000 Liberian dollars, and you are taking it a longer time to answer our call. Afternoon to you.
Yeah, good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm coming. You played a radio game this afternoon?
Yeah.
How many times you played?
I played 2 times.
You got an alert on your phone?
Yeah.
How much you want?
I won 4,000 the other day.
So that why you don't answer our call?
No, I left the phone. I went in the bathroom.
Oh, all right. So thank you for winning. Your name, or you want to call your name before other people can pay you for money?
No, my name is Say Goyon.
Say who?
Say Goyon.
Oh, Say Goyon. Where you living?
I live on the Oro.
Oh, okay. Congratulations to you, yeah?
I just thank you too.
All right, you're welcome. Bye. All right, so Say going on there. Winning 4,000. You can do the same. All you need to do is to dial *799 *3 hash. *799 *3 hash and win 4,000 Liberian dollars. The more you play, the more your chances of winning, the more winners I can draw. So if you don't play, you see, say there, the man got a 4G, I can't, you like it. Yeah. You know, he said he played twice. That is, he spent 200 and he won 4,000 with a profit margin of 3,800 Liberian dollars. But let's go to Nimba County quickly to see if we can speak to Victor Cooper. He's one of our correspondents there in Nimba to bring us up to speed with information that we're getting that there is a go-slow action at the Nimba University there. What has caused this go-slow action? Who's going slow? And how can it be resolved? And also, there is a tragic story coming out of Nimba that the murder of a person has caused serious issues in some parts of the county. But let's speak to Victor Cooper. He's on the line live. Pleasant afternoon to you, Victor. How are you doing?
Good afternoon, Damon. Good morning. Good afternoon to our family, and good afternoon to this family.
Are you just waking up? Are you just saying good morning, good morning, good morning?
Yeah, so I'm used to that kind of a morning session now. So so you should I will say morning, but I'll be here. Good afternoon.
Yeah, afternoon to you. Yeah, like hi looking. Yeah. But what is going on? You reported a story of a go-slow action there at the Nimba University College. What's going on, Victor?
So the NU Nimba University will actually begin the go slow hopefully tomorrow. But the beginning yesterday, it started yesterday. You know, some instructors went for a break and they came back in middle with that go slow. So some of them were not informed. So today, Tuesday, they are in a meeting. The faculties are in a meeting to embark on a go slow tomorrow, beginning tomorrow up to time indefinite. So yesterday we were there as media team speaking with the faculty head. The guy said There are three reasons why they will be going slow at the facility. And one of them is the issue of the HR who is assigned there to be retransferred to another location, to change the location from the county.
Why?
You're not working in the interest of the faculties, and the students are complaining from he being there. He was not assigned in Nimba County as an HR, he was assigned as an instructor. So taking into HR level is an advantage to other staff who've been there. So because of that, it should be retransferred. Another comes with the issue of the salary issue, where they say they need that they found compensation to the salary because the salary is not satisfactory to them. They cannot be instructed. That's a degree holder is making $300 per month. So they need the additional life to at least $500-600 in the interest of the faculties here. So BSc cannot be making 300 and then master is making the same 300. So it is embarrassing. And another count where I make it 3 was the issue of stationery. It said there is no stationery at the facility. So they find it difficult to get students in classroom without stationery. So based upon this thing, they have gone in a meeting today. So tomorrow will be coming out with the go slow, effectively tomorrow. So we will be going there as a media to be speaking with the faculties there.
Now, they've raised 3 very essential counts. One, the HR serving in the position should be transferred because he's not in the interest of the staff and students and wasn't sent there as a human resource officer, but rather a teacher or an instructor, to the issue of salaries and compensations that master degree holders and undergraduate they have in the same salary, and the third has got to do with the lack of stationaries. All these are essential. But what have they said concerning their engagements with the administration there of the Nimba University?
So that was one of the very important questions we posted to them. According to them, they usually engage the administration, most especially the president. But the president will always keep them on a waiting list, giving them time to address himself to the situations. But each time they give the president time to address himself to it, he always come with no mandate coming to them. So at the end of the day, they want to play low in the interest of the students. But it's coming around now, they will not let it go. They will make sure that their quest is addressed. If it is not addressed, then they will go slow, begin now to time indefinite. So usually they will address the administration on that issue. More especially the issue of the HR is a major concern in not working in the interest of the faculties and all of the students that are here. So we were also speaking with we spoke with the student council leader yesterday and said there have been numerous go slow at the facility. More often it can be the issue of salary, but it's coming around. The people stretch is the issue of the HR. It's one of the key issues that is then addressed to them as the student council leadership over there. So they are saying that today is a meeting, a general meeting, faculties meeting. After the meeting today, tomorrow, if the administration will not get the NN good counts, they will be going slow.
Okay. So I know to ask the question that how has it affected learning activities there is irrelevant because it has already been affected. But what are the students saying? You know, the issue of getting an education is time sensitive. And if their instructors are on a go slow, it's ultimately, if that is not resolved, it's going to affect their academic calendar as well. What are the students saying concerning their instructors' go slow action? And have you heard from the administration as well concerning this?
And so based upon that request yesterday, we were not able to speak with the administration on the embarrassment it would cause the students. But you know, usually when it happens, even ordinary schools around here, when teacher is not in class, you will know that again, embarrass the ordinary student when we're about university. So the students said yesterday, if this happens, it's going to embarrass them because many of the students were on campus yesterday fully prepared to attend class. But all of a surprise, there were no instructor in class yesterday. After their person being on campus to sit in class and attend class, there were no instructor on the campus. It was embarrassing. Their embarrassment began yesterday up to today. If possible tomorrow, because tomorrow is when we are very will force our way to go silently to follow that activity tomorrow, because if the teacher will not be in class, it will embarrass the students. So they are saying that they are also calling on the administrator, most especially the president and the faculties, to start appealing to them by this time, so that at least the issue of the HR can be addressed, because it is a key agenda of their counts. So the issue of the HR can be addressed firstly before the other counts. And so if it is addressed, then they will attend to class.
Okay. They're making it HR to sound like Pharaoh in their lives. But anyway, what's the next news? Have you reported a story about an alleged murder in some part of Nimba that has caused serious shock in that community. What's the background behind that particular headline, Victor?
So it is coming from the sector of the security in Nimba County, where we've gathered this information that's yesterday morning. And the situation popped up Sunday night about 12:32 a.m. So information we've gathered yesterday when we went there, this lady had been charged and sent to court for alleged murder until she can justify herself to the situations. So the woman who has been sent to court, her name is Non Flomo. She's about 56 years of age now. So we've told the lady who was killed too is one Ko Nyanama. Ko Nyanama is about 48 years of age. So information we've gathered from this lady who is in a prison compound now said the woman who was killed had been a witchcraft in the family. So around 2014 and 15, she confessed that she was a witch. And so she even bewitched the non-formal woman at the level of being epilepsy patient. So she threw an epilepsy on a woman. So this lady then imbibed with a sickness all along from 2014 up to present. So since this confession, they have been asking the lady who was killed for solution to that situation. She said there is no situation until she plead with God for that sickness to kill on her. And so according to non-formal who is in the cell, said since this sickness been embarrassing her, she had no option, but she been setting to actually kill this lady that she killed. She been finding a way forward to have killed this woman because the woman completely damaged her life in the midst of people. Because epilepsy is one sickness that embarrasses people anywhere you stand, it disgraces you at any point of time. And so based on that, she had been finding a way to kill this woman. So on Saturday, there was an event in a town called Makento. So they all went there in that gallery. So they were in a program there. But then the lady who was killed was stayed back and they entered Sunday, that Saturday evening. So it was no way for them to pass to go to that village. So they tried passing the night in Sanikole to this woman home, which is the Callisview community. And so at that night, the lady lodged in her own bedroom where she was smoking sleep. And so about 12:32 a.m., she took the collage while lying down. She took the collage, she went in the room there and shot the woman on her ear 3 times and later struck her neck rather. So she struck her neck and then she threw the collar away, jumping out, calling on the people that she has killed, and she came and carried her to the police station. About 12:43, the police arrived on the scene where they have her arrested. Taking the lady at the hospital, they already saw that her name was already caught, so there was no need of taking her to the hospital. So as we speak now, Flomo is in the prison compound in Sanikole, and her husband is in the police depot. At the police depot, ongoing investigation why the lady called Go Nyanama have been turned over to the family for burial.
So this is an intriguing story. The pictures are horrifying. We cannot share those pictures that you sent, the graphic content. But from what I gathered, the alleged murderers said she committed the act because this lady who's now dead used witchcrafting to throw epilepsy or spare, as we can call it in Liberia, on her.
Yes, spare. Mm-hmm.
And she had been planning on killing this lady. And after she committed the act, she reported herself.
She didn't get reported herself. She jumped out with a complaint saying that she had killed. She came and carried her to the station. And so that's how people came around and have her arrested. And that's how it happened. But Damo, she actually made a statement that she had been planning to kill this woman since the epilepsy sickness was tuned on her. Because there had been no solution for this sickness. She had passed everywhere. And even the lady who was killed, he asked her on numerous occasions, what is the solution to the problem? She said there is no solution. Anything is she will pray to God, she'll be healed from the problem. And so based upon that, and according to her again, they have also killed some important people in the family through which. So even the family are against her behavior, they are against her in the family. And we were told by some witnesses that when they killed that night, that very Sunday morning, was still in the police cell. People from the family came at the police station appreciating her, telling her thank you. They will come and free her from the cell. Their trouble, their burden is over on them. So people were able to give her the kind of information. So it seems to be that she was actually a problem to the family too, that she healed from.
Interesting. Sad but interesting. All right, Victor. Thank you so much for taking up your time to update us there from Nimba County. As you said, you'll be following up on the go slow action there at the Nimba University that is situated in Saninkole, right? And
Yeah, sure.
yeah, we'll be waiting to get updates from you. Thank you so much.
So fine, tomorrow we'll be going there, Damo.
All right, thank you, Victor. I appreciate you.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Victor Cooper there reporting from Ganta, where he is in Nimba County. A lot happening in our country. You know, just seeing those pictures alone has it has thrown me off. Honestly, yeah, it has thrown me off. I have to regroup in my Vandela Patrick voice, regroup and continue the show. All right. But if you're just joining us, this is the pulse here on the Spoon Network. This show we bring you everything from politics to things happening in our country, education, the law, and the rest. As I said, we've been, privileged to have a lawyer who will be discussing the domestic relations law of Liberia for us. He will be telling us what the law says concerning relationships, marriage. What is marriage? Who are those that can get married? What does our law say concerning who gets married? At what age, can you get married? What is a divorce? What are the processes? What are the roles of parents in the upbringing of their children? What are the roles of parents? We see a lot of cases concerning persistent non-support. What are the responsibilities of the father and the mother? If the father is incapable, what does the mother do? What are your responsibilities as a child as well to your parent? If your parent is at risk of becoming a public charge, when can you remarry? People say, oh, husband just died, marrying with different person. What does the law say concerning how can you remarry? When can you remarry? When your spouse is deceased? An interesting one is when your spouse is incarcerated for a long period of time, how many years does it take you to file in for a divorce and the rest? So the domestic relations law of Liberia is very interesting to read, and we need to know these things so that we can know our rights, we can know our responsibilities, and we can become responsible citizens. You don't go stay in front of the court and say, oh, I know, because they say ignorance to the law is no excuse. You need to know what your rights are, and that is why the pause is crafted this way, not just to bring political happiness to you, but to also bring you good news, information, education as well. And one thing we also gave you on the pause is money. Yeah, we just called our first winner. I want to call my second winner, but you need to play dial *799*3#. It's easy, it's simple. *799*3#. *799*3#. You do that, you play with 100 Liberian dollars if you're using your Liberian dollars wallet, or you play with 70 United States cents if you're using your USD wallet. At the beginning of the show, we spoke to Ambulah Mame. We discussed the no-car issue. Where are we now? When the CEO herself in a Facebook post said, yes, she bought 2 vehicles, but one of the 2 vehicles is meant for cruising on holidays, running errands, and for weekends, that she and her security guards and her drivers cannot be on board the same vehicle. She needs one vehicle for weekends and another for official business. That again has brought President Joseph Human Boyguy to the spotlight as to how his officials are expending public funds in a country where priorities should be, shipped and gazed on human resource empowerment and the rest, developing our human resource, developing our infrastructure capacity, in developing our country in many other sectors than paying for luxurious lives of high-profile government officials. According to Ambulah Mame, it has semblances of the Army Modal saga, buying vehicles, expensive vehicles for personal aggrandizement. According to Mame, the board of NOCAL should take seize of the matter, and the president should be concerned as well as to how his officials are expending public funds. How does it make them look to the Liberian populace? That is the question. We also spoke with Melvin Jackson, our judicial correspondent. He brought us up to speed with the case involving the former operations director of the Trafficking in Persons Task Force, one Henry McGill, who has been investigated, charged, and forwarded to court. As we spoke to Melvin, he was currently at the Monrovia City Court on charges of trafficking in persons and theft of property. He's also been accused of going for an additional Liberian passport even after his previous passport was seized in line with the investigation. That again raises a lot of questions as to how secure is our passport system and how coordinated are our government agencies when it comes to data collection and storage. If you have a biometric information in the system and you want to go and get another passport, it should be flagged that, look, you have a passport. And if you have deemed your passport stolen or missing, there are processes that you can go to be able to get a new passport. But that again is another investigation for another day. We spoke with Haji Masale, who covers the House of Representatives for us. Haji brought us up to speed with the issue involving the vacating or ejection of Speaker Kofa's personal effects from the office. His communication stating that he's not going to be in any conversation further when it comes to the office matter, and that they should proceed the same way, that is, they took the speakership from him using the force of the executive as well. Well, we want to see if we can speak to Chokon Flammer. Chokon was at the press conference of the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism to tell us the latest that has been unveiled or revealed by the government of Liberia. This is The Pause, and my name is Diamond Slanger. All right, so I think we do have Chokon Flammer on the line. Let's see if we can take Chokon now. Good afternoon to you, Chokon Flammer. How are you?
Good afternoon, Diamond, and good afternoon to the many listeners who are logged onto the show right now.
Okay. Chokon, what's the latest there from the government's mouthpiece, the Ministry of Information?
Well, they, as you may be aware, or the public to be aware of the regular press briefing of the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. Today, they had two guests, the Monrovia City Mayor, Mayor Siafa Bestman, and also the PPCC Executive Director. They appear at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism today. But two key points. The ministers spoke about a human rights group, a group claiming to be human rights group, a panoramic,
Justice group.
Justice group that wrote some congressmen, senators about alleged human rights violation in the country. Said they are done research on the group, and the group does not exist. In fact, the head of the group, according to him, was a serious critic of the now president, then vice president Joseph Yuma Boakai. So they are not taking the statement from the group and the communication seriously because it has some political motive, they believe. And he went on to also talk about some of the activities, the road constructions the government is currently doing, that in a moment, moving forward in this February, there will be, the overhead pass construction will commence, and other infrastructure developments the government is undertaking. When it came to the question and answer, I did ask him about the current status of the yellow machine. The president did not mention that in his State of the Nation's address. And he too did not mention it during the press conference. And he said that the purchasing of the yellow machine is still on course. The government of Liberia will ensure that Liberia still get the yellow machine. They are working behind the scene, but as it stands, everything is on course.
Did he put a timeline as to when they will unveil these yellow machines or bring them out to all of the funfair that we did see when the yellow machines issue was pronounced some months back in last year?
He did not call the time. He did not call the date. He did not say anything as such, but he said the government will ensure for Liberia to get a machine. Everything is still on course. The plan has not been abandoned. So that's why he said. And then the PPCC the executive director, Budget Johnson, he said they are about to launch the e-platform for the public procurement for people to be able to, especially people in rural areas, to be able to be using the e-platform for the first time in the history of Liberia. And then he went on to say that one thing he has observed that is undermining Liberian businesses is fronting. He said he has observed Liberians can front for Lebanese, for other foreigners. They go and pay for the contract and then give it over to Lebanese. So he said the Lebanese people are now taking the contracts from Liberians. So he called on the government of Liberia, and he also cautioned us Liberians to desist from giving their contracts, their private rights, as he said, to Lebanese.
What did he say are some of the factors that attribute this fronting that he talked about that Liberians are engaged in? That is, you go and pause as a Liberian company that gives you, more leverage as a Liberian company. You get the contract, you're unable to perform, or you sell it or you outsource it. Did he say outsourcing is illegal, or that Liberians should not be fronting? And what did he actually say?
He did not say outsourcing a contract is illegal. Why he said that there are particular they usually prioritize Liberian businesses in awarding contracts, and some of those strategic contracts to Liberian businesses, but they observe that Liberians will pay, and at the end of the day, just to do fast finding and investigation, most often they usually uncover that Liberians can sometimes win the bid and turn it over to Lebanese. So he said, though there haven't been any penalties laid out in the law for Liberians, who will do that. That you are awarded a contract, you apply, let's say for catering service, only to know that that a Lebanese company will go and execute the company at the job. At the end of the day, the Liberians is giving a kickback on that.
Okay, so that is an interesting conversation, and we'll be taxing you to see if we can get the PPCC executive director on the show sometime next week so that we can talk about this. I know they're going to launch the e-procurement platform, but this issue is tricky. There is a thin line in between, when I go and front, that is, I don't own the business, I don't have the capacity, I pretend to have. Isn't the PPCC supposed to do due diligence of companies that are applying? And if I do apply, and I apply using fraudulent documents and front it for another company, isn't that a crime, in that? And the second part is, I could win a bid and I could outsource it to someone else to do it. The bottom line is, I'm doing your work, but I'm outsourcing it. That's why I want him on the show, so that we can talk about what's the thin line between what is legal and what is illegal. If a Lebanese sends me and I go and pretend like I have a company only to give them the contract, that is illegal, because I'm doing something to hurt another business that I know I cannot do. But just go back to that. That's why we want him on the show, so that we can discuss this, because it's very sensitive. It's a sensitive matter, Chokan.
Diamond, is a grave issue. Doing the question and answer, asking in particular, you have the other established institution and a mandate given to you to be able, because this is a fair and transparent initiative. This is why the CC was established, to make sure that people who are
been awarded contracts, they should get it legitimately. But now you found out that Liberians are fronting, they don't have the capacity, they don't have the document, and then they giving out the contract, they apply as the owner of the institute of the company, and later on you find out. So I asked him whether there is any penalties laid out in the law. Well, he did not, state exactly what penalties, but he only said this is wrong for Liberians to do that. And he just went back and forth over the question and all other questions that follow on that issue. It's a grave issue. He raised that this is one of the challenges they are really facing now. Liberians are taking their own birthright and turning it over to the Lebanese and the Indians and all of that.
Okay. Any other issue worth reporting there from the MICAT press briefing? The Armed Forces of Liberia on the 11th of February is Armed Forces Day. What are the programs lined up? Anything said by the Ministry of Information with the information coming from the Ministry of National Defense, or that is scheduled for another day?
And that is scheduled. Comment on it. The mayor also spoke about the coming the celebration of the Monrovia Day on the 16th of February each year, where you have to give the state of the Monrovia address.
so we got a B1, the state of the nation. Then we got a BB, the state of Monrovia.
Yeah, Monrovia, it is there in the anti-establishment institution. Every year you have to address the people who dwell in the city.
We Monrovians.
Monrovians.
We the Monrovians.
On the progress made so far. So I'm asking particularly about the theater. The theater has been lying in ruins. And he said that a priority was not to go and renovate the theater. They are concerned about the dumping site. He also announced officially that he closed the Center Street, the infamous Center Street graveyard. Yeah, officially closed that area. No burial, no Zogo activities, no other activity will be going on there. They officially close it to clean the area, and then later on.
The mayor say his priority is not the theater, renovating the theater, that could also be a revenue generating stream for the Monrovia City Corporation, or did he just downplay, or did he just say that it's not my priority and I have important ones like cleaning the city and all of that, and in line of importance, this can wait and let's do these other things and then we can get back to that? How did he put it?
That's why he said, Damo, he said that the priority focus has been the filth in the city and how to get the city clean up, and also clean the sites, the waste management area, the winter and other areas. They have been trying their best to make sure those areas are giving the best outlook. Those have been some of his work, capacity building for staff. But he said that there are efforts being made to renovate the area, but that has not been a priority. Okay. So the theater, the historic theater of the Monrovia City Hall, has been also closed. Yeah.
All right, Chokon. So in this public manner, we have two, assignments for you. As you cover MICAT, you engage with these stakeholders, and Liberians need to hear them beyond the Ministry of Information press briefing. So we want you in this public manner to kindly take on the task of having us talk to the Monrovia City Mayor next week, and the ED of the PPCC as well. Two good points we want to talk about, and it's not only politics we feature on this show, but Liberians need information to be educated as well. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, Dama.
All right. So there you have it. Chokon Flama is one of our senior correspondents here at the Spoon Network. So we're about to wrap up the pause for today. It's been quite an informative show, and we also want to see if we can draw our second winner, but to be able to do so, let me see how many persons I need to play at this moment. All right, so if you want to win 4,000 Liberian dollars, all you need to do is to dial *799*3#, *799*3#. Play right now and stand a chance of winning 4,000 Liberian dollars. The next 6 persons to play. Let me see. Yeah, I need to play right now so that I draw another winner before we leave the studio. So all you need to do is to dial *799*3#, *799*3#. Those are the numbers to dial. Use the short code *799*3#. Play with 100 Liberian dollars, just 100 Liberian dollars, and you stand a chance of winning 4,000 Liberian dollars. Listen to our first winner today. Said he played with 200 Liberian dollars. That is, he played twice and he won 4,000, making a profit of 3,800 Liberian dollars. We'll start featuring our lawyer on next week. We'll begin with the domestic relation laws of Liberia, and after we have exhausted that, we will move on to the vehicle and traffic laws of Liberia, because we want this program to not just provide you with talking points, but also with needed information. Once we have an informed country where people are informed and educated about their rights and their responsibilities, because rights do come with responsibilities, you can have a responsible citizenry. Once you know your rights, you know your responsibilities, you know where your rights stop, where the next person's right begins, you know everything. You wouldn't have a country where soon the money, one motorbike man will play music very loud kind in the community and inject the step. Yeah, inject the step. If you go and dance, oh my man, tell you all kinds of things that you don't even know about yourself. We wouldn't have a country where a matter that is supposed to go straight to court, somebody will say, I will show you who I am. Like, we don't want to get a country. Our crown yet. I will show you. I will get you straight to jail. Then one policeman who knows most of the time the thing is wrong will take the person and turn it in jail. I just want to suffer her. I just want to suffer him. I will show you today. If I lock you up, we wouldn't have a country as such, because you, the citizen, will know your rights. You go to the officer and say, no. This is not a thing that you come and show me in jail. Let the person go to the court and get a writ and come and take me to court. I'll go to court. It's not a criminal matter. It's a civil offense. Let the person take me to the court. If you know your right, somebody will tell you, say, you have to clearly dare, so yeah, you have to do that one, you have to do that one. Because most of the time, we are ignorant of our rights. They are abused by those who are put in authority to protect our rights. And that is why we have been fortunate enough to have a lawyer. And we're calling on other professionals. I know most of the time professionals don't want to appear because they are shy of saying these things. They don't want to be implicated. They don't want, but I want to discuss. It's not about politics. It's not about politics. That is why in other countries, you find professional people on the radio and on the TV lending their professional knowledge. It's also a way of selling you as a professional. As you're providing us pro bono knowledge, you become a notable person. And you are helping as well. So now one lawyer, we can get as many lawyers as possible. Maybe one lawyer A today is caught up in court. Lawyer B can pick it up from there. Medical practitioners, crime scene investigators, criminal justice experts. We want to sit on this platform and discuss education from educators. Now every day the person go slow, the person on the wall. Do you know how many of our kids go to university not knowing what they want to do? They just follow the crowd. But if you're able to sit on this platform and educate the next generation on what career choices are, what career paths are there, what courses they can study, What are the newest line of opportunities? If you are a business person and you can come and sit on this show and mentor other business owners and other entrepreneurs who are coming up, upcoming entrepreneurs, if you are able to mentor people, the knowledge that you will share, it will go a long way. Not every day people will say, I will say. So if you are a professional and you're out there and you want to contribute to this program, we are encouraging you to do so. My number is scrolling on the screen for those of you watching, and I'll read it out for those of you who are interested in calling, for also business opportunities as well. If you want to advertise your goods and your services on this program, you can call this number. Yeah, but please, my people, don't call me way in the night. The time people will be sleeping, you know, and say something else. Thank you. Let's keep it that way. Let me draw my second winner, and then I'll announce the number, and we can wrap it up for today. So let me draw this person. Okay. So let me call my second winner. This person has won 4,000 Liberian dollars. I'm calling you right now. Please answer your phone. Yep. Please answer your phone so that we can conclude for today. All right, so that is what it is. When you play the radio game, you win money. I'm encouraging you all to play. Hello?
Yeah?
How you doing, sir?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. My name is Diamond Slanger. I'm calling you from the Spoon Network. You played a radio game today?
Oh, yeah, I play a radio game today.
How many times you played?
Over 5 times, brother.
You check your phone, you saw your 4G drop in your account.
Yeah, I just saw the message. Let me check it out, man. Thank you very much, brother.
Yeah, but you have to confirm. You be on the phone, you check it. Don't worry, my credit can finish. Yeah. Just be on the phone, you just check it. Okay, the man say you won't call the call, they will check it. That's the beauty of the radio game. So 4,000 Liberian dollars into his account. And I don't have time now to draw another winner, but we'll get back tomorrow. We can just do that. So 2 persons winning today. It could be you tomorrow. Tomorrow, Shannon and Chapa there. The radio game ambassador is here. Tomorrow at Chapa? All right, he says tomorrow at jackpot. So tomorrow is 10 or 20?
Tomorrow 20.
All right.
1,500.
Tomorrow 20, 50, 100. The one I'm talking about 1,000. 20,000, 50,000, 100,000. So if you think today winners are lucky, it could be you tomorrow. You could win 20,000. Hello, you saw your mark?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my brother.
It there?
Yeah, it there, G.
All right. Thank you for playing, huh?
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Bye. All right, folks. That's that. That's all the time we have to be here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for following. And we'll be back on tomorrow. My name is Diamond Slanger, bidding you a good afternoon. Keep listening to the Spoon Network. DJ SNW is up next to drive you through with good music and provide you with more money to win. On behalf of the entire production team, it's a wrap for us. Bye-bye. And it goes